In this video, we're going to work on our mobile navigation. What's up, guys? So, if you remember from, well, if you watched my video, I made a video last week about something that happened with my hard drive, which sucks pretty bad. So I don't actually have my design file for this website, but I do, however, have my prototype up on the internet, and that's still there, so we're going to use that. So what we're going to be working on today is this mobile navigation right here. So we have two states of it. We have this one where it's needs to be clicked to open it. So when you click it, then we have this one that you click to close it. And on top of that, we're going to have 6 images. So we have a home icon, a case studies icon, a blog icon, and then obvious social link icons as well. And so we're going to be working on this today as well. And we're going to try and make the functionality of that work. So I basically have all of these are SVGs essentially. So we're going to be using those. So first thing, let's open up our terminal and go to our project and cd into it. And then we're going to start up the server using bundle exec Jekyll serve with the 2 flags, watch and base URL. Let that start up. Okay. Looks like I need to install some of these gems. So I'm just going to run bundle install. Let's see if it works after this. Alright, now let's try and run that again. Alright, looks like it's up and running. Let's give it a try. Localhost port 4000, and here we go. This is everything we've gotten so far. So, first things first, let's look at this. So we're going to need to add 2 toggles, and then we're going to need to add all of these links in here. So let's open up our text editor and let's go to nav.html. All right. So this is everything we've got right now. Let's go ahead and just beneath this UL, we're going to just add a comment. So we know that this is the mobile navigation. Perfect. So let's start with making the toggle. So I'm going to say div class equals nav toggle open wrapper. And let's see here. Let's also add that we're going to add that if statement just like we have here, because again, only on the home page is this one dark. So this one here is only dark on the home page because it's a bright background. On every other page this is white, but this is always going to be dark because it's always going to have this white background. So let's go ahead and add that if statement in. So I'm going to say curly brace %, if page dot URL equals quotes / and then end %, and curly brace. Then we're going to say, let's give it the class of nav dark, and then let's go ahead and end our if statement. That's good there. And now we're gonna just close this off. All right, so the SVG that we're gonna be sticking in here, I actually have in a file on my desktop right here. So I've got that open in brackets, and it is this first one right here. I built this in Illustrator, and I've just exported it, and I have the code for it right here. So I'm going to copy that and paste it in here. Save that and come over here and just refresh it and see if anything happened. So it looks like something happened. Not quite sure where it is. It's probably over here, but we haven't styled it, so we're not going to see it at all. So let's go ahead and open up our Sass modules and go to our nav.sass. And let's go to the bottom here and let's name this toggled nav. And we're going to go ahead and grab that nav toggle open wrapper. And we're going to give it a position of relative and height of 50 pixels, width of 50 pixels. I'm going to make it display flex. Justify content center and align items center, so it centers whatever we put in it exactly inside of this div. And then we're going to give it the cursor of pointer and overflow of visible. And then we stuck an SVG inside of it, and so I'm going to grab the SVG and say width equals 24 pixels and height equals auto. Let's save that and see what happens over here. All right, so we see it right here. The cursor is changing. So that is going to be this right here. We've still got a couple things to do. So just so we can see it when it's on the home page, let's come here and select it again. First of all, let's give this a Z index of 999, and then we're going to set this SVG here, to be the stroke, because if we look here, all these lines are going to have a stroke. So stroke of white. And now we can come over here and we can select it one more time, and this time we're gonna add the nav dark class to it, and we're gonna say SVG stroke primary. Wrong page. This one. And now we can see it right here. And I've got the target size larger than the actual icon itself, just because when you're on mobile, I want you to be able to, I want your thumb to be able to hit that without having to get right on it. So that's good for now for that. Okay, so now that we've got that, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and add our overlay at the moment. The overlay is going to be that right there. So we're going to say div class nav toggle body overlay. Open and close it. Okay. And then now what we can do real quick is we can add, let's go ahead and add our toggle close icon. So we're going to go ahead and add this one. So we're going to say, we're going to put it in a wrapper first. We're going to write div class toggled nav wrapper. Close that. And then we're going to put in there, we're going to put the actual icon. So we're going to put another div with a class of nav toggle close wrapper. All right, and then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab this SVG and then we're going to stick it right in here. Refresh. And it's going to be over here. So most of the styles for that are actually going to be the same exact thing as this. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this onto it here. Change this to close. Refresh. And there it is. So this is our large navigation, and these are two mobile icons. So before we style everything else, let's go ahead and while we're at it, right inside of our nav wrapper, let's go ahead and add all of our links and like all of our internal links here and then all of our external links. So we're going to say, let's see, let's make a div with a class of internal nav links wrapper. And we're going to write out 3 of these for now. Okay. We're going to make an A tag. href. I know this is all going to start off with curly brace site dot base URL / that's all going to be the same there. And then we can go ahead and give this a class of internal link wrapper. And so basically how we have this is this entire thing here, the icon all the way, including all this text. As you can see, all of that right there, all this stuff is the button. So everything inside of there is going to be everything inside of that A tag. So we're going to go ahead and add a wrapper inside of here for the text. So I'm going to say div class link titles wrapper. And then inside of this, we're going to have an H5. Oh, H5. Yeah, we'll have an H5. So we'll go H5. And I'm just going to name this link for a second. And then right after the H5, we're going to have a small. And I'm just going to call this link meta for a second. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close off this div. So right now we literally just closed off the link titles wrapper. And then after that, we're going to add another div. And the other div is essentially, it's going to be these icons here. So we're going to open div and close the div. And we're going to give this div a class of, let's see, internal icon, well, internal link icon. And I'm going to add another class. So this is going to be internal link icon. And then I'm going to add more of that in just a second. But before we do that, let's go ahead and go to the end of this line and close off our A tag. So we know the first one here is going to be home. So I'm just going to say home. This one is going to be case studies, if I remember correctly. Yeah, case studies. Case studies. And then this one is going to be, not there, sorry. Blog. So now we're going to need to go ahead and just add these paths and finish filling this information in. So this one's fine because that's going to go to home. This, though, is going to need to go to case studies. And then this one is going to go to blog. And then in our H5s, that's where we're going to write the name of it. So it's going to be home, case studies, and then blog. So we got home in that H5, case studies, and then blog in here. All right. And then in the small, we're going to go ahead and add this stuff. So I've got who is Zachary is in this first small. So this first link meta, it's just going to say who is Zachary question mark. Then in this small tag, we're going to write what is the process question mark. And then in the blog's small tag, we're going to go ahead and write what does he think. And so the purpose behind that is just to give them a little more idea of what the purpose is behind each of these pages. So, like, you know, why would I go to the case studies? Well, it's to see the process of how I do the work, or see how it is that I think about situations. So now that that's all out of the way, let's come over here and let's just refresh this page and see if anything showed up. Okay, so here we do. We have Home, who is Zachary? Case studies, what is process? And blog, what does he think? That's fine for a moment. Before we go ahead and style this, let's go ahead and we're going to do something extremely similar to this. We are going to go ahead and add the external links. So we're going to come over here and we're going to go to this. We're going to make a div. We're going to give it a class of external links wrapper. So this is going to be extremely similar to this one. We're just, instead of internal, it's going to be external. And we're going to close this. Okay, and then just like before, we're going to add three A tags. So we're going to go A, href. I'm going to leave this blank for a moment. I'm going to explain to you what we're going to put into it. But we are going to want to make the target equal to underscore blank. Just going to open it up in a new tab. We're going to give them a class of external link, not links, link wrapper. Let's just close the A tag off now this time. So in here, we're going to give it an H6. And so inside of these H6s, it's just going to be the, Facebook, Twitter, and then Instagram. So I'm going to say Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And then after that, the only other thing that we're going to have in here is the icon. So we're going to go ahead and give it a div with a class of, well, let's go ahead and just close the div off. Oh, wait. Delete that. Did it in the wrong spot. Just before the ending of that A tag, just before we close it, that's where we're going to add the div for the icon. So div, close off the div, and then we're going to write class of external link icon, and then another class on it of external link icon. And then here's where we're gonna write Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So that's all of those. Let's see if it showed up in over here. There it is. We got this Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So right now, see, if you click these, it should take you to the pages that don't exist right now. But if you click these, it doesn't take you anywhere. So what we have to do is, if you look at our config.yaml, you'll see these custom paths that we wrote right here. We're going to use these so we don't have to write all of this out and remember all of this. And if, like I said before, if I ever change my username on any of these accounts, I can change it all here in one spot, and it'll trickle down throughout the rest of this website. So it's going to be whatever social platform it is underscore path. So we're going to come into this A tag, curly brace. It's going to be site dot this first one's going to be Facebook underscore path. Close the curly brace. Let's just save that and see if this worked. Facebook. That did not work. Why did that not work? Oh, let's just finish these real quick and see if it works after that. This is going to be Twitter_path. And close it. And then this is going to be Instagram_path. And then close it. Refresh it. Oh yeah, see, it had gotten error before because we didn't close off the variable. Refresh this and now try it. Looks like it worked. Cool. Let it load. There we go. Twitter. Twitter works. And Instagram. Instagram works. Cool. Alright, so what's next? Now we just have to style this pretty much. I am going to go ahead and add one more comment in this though and just say end navigation. Save that. Now we go to our Sass. Oh yes. Sass. So let's go ahead and we're going to grab this. And again, select the SVG. And let's give it a color of primary, because it's always going to need to be primary on that one. Refresh this, and there we go. Now you see this one, and you see this one. And that's a step in the right direction. What do we gotta do? Okay. I see you, fam. So, essentially, what we're going to do is we're gonna display this flex to get all these spaced appropriately. We're gonna use a lot of display flex in this just to get everything centered. And I mean, if the computer does the math, that's technically less work we have to do. And I mean, a lot of devices and browsers already handle this, so I'm not worried about it at all. If there's someone on on like Opera or something that this isn't gonna work on, or just some old browser, chances are those really aren't the people that I'm going to want looking at my website to begin with anyways. So for this project, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, let's come to our Sass. I think that's good for now here. Let's start with the... Let's see, what do we name it? No, not that one. Yeah, we're going to use this one, the Nav Toggle wrapper, because everything that's inside of that is all of this, and this overlay is something separate, because the overlay comes before it. So we're going to grab the toggled nav wrapper. We're going to say... I'm just going to add a transition on it now, because I know I'm going to want one on it later, most likely. All 0.2s. It's not a 0. Ease in out. And like I said, we're going to do display of flex. Align items. flex end. That's a little different, but we're going to use that. And we're going to use flex direction column because essentially we have inside of this is its own thing, this group is its own thing, and this group is its own thing. And now that I'm looking at this, we need to go ahead and come back here, and just after our internal links right here, and before the external links, we're going to need to add an HR. So it's just a horizontal rule, and it's going to give us this line here once we style it. There it is. Come back to our SAS. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and give it a position of fixed. And I want it glued to the top at 0, the right at 0, the bottom at 0 as well. Give this a Z index of 1002, so it sits above everything else. That looks like 300 pixels ish. I'm pretty sure that's what it was when I designed it. Width is 300 pixels. Height is 100%. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this padding around it here. So I'm going to say padding, it's going to be like 35 because that's what we have for mobile. 20 pixels, then 35 for the bottom again, and then there is no padding on the left. Let's make the background white using our variable of white. Yeah, let's just see how that works. There we go. Right now, that's stuck all the way over there, so that's looking pretty decent, actually. But we don't want to be seeing it right now, so we're going to give it a transform, translate X, 300 pixels, and when we save it, it's off to the side. Let's comment that out so we can see this and this style everything else inside of it at the moment. So now we're going to grab our internal nav links wrapper and our external links wrapper. And again, we're going to use display flex on those as well. Flex direction is column again. We're going to justify content. This time we're going to justify content space between, like we did with the navigation earlier in, I think, the previous video. And then text align is all going to be aligned right. Yeah, all aligned right. Refresh that. That's looking like it's aligned right, so that's good. This is all aligned right as well. Let's style that HR real quick. It's going to be width of 100%, so it's going to be 100% of its parent container, which is 300 pixels. And let's give it some margin of 30 pixels on the top, 0 on the right, 60 pixels on the bottom, and dang it, I keep hitting that, 0 on the left as well. And so now, the reason it doesn't stretch all the way across is because it is 100% of its parent container. However, its parent container has padding here, so it's going to go right up against that padding right there, which is like, I don't even know what it was. 20 pixels or something like that. Yeah, 20 pixels. So after that, let's go ahead and grab just the internal links. And we're going to style these a little bit. I'm going to give it a margin top of 50 pixels. That's 500. Just want 50. And a height of 192. That's what it was when I designed it. I remember some of the dimensions from when I was doing the design. And so let's just kind of push this down away from that button. There you go. And add some, you know, some margin there. And then let's go for the A tag inside of them. It's A with an internal link wrapper was the class we put on it. And we're going to write display flex. Again, flex direction is this time flex direction is going to be row, because if you look at these, this is grouped and then this is a separate piece. So it's going this way. Back here. Justify content. Flex end. Because I still want it to be pushed all the way to the right. And we're going to align items center so it's centered in its height. Let's come over here and refresh that. And nothing changed because we haven't gone ahead and added those images just yet. We will do that in a minute. Now let's grab our external links wrapper. And what we're going to change on this is its height to 122 pixels. We're going to grab its A with the class of external links wrapper. Not links, link. And then we're going to say as, you know, it's going to be the same thing as this. So whatever, just copy it. Cool. Got that little space there. Now what we're going to do, this is going to be the fun part, and then we're going to be done with this in just a couple minutes here. So after the A, we're going to come down here and we're going to grab what we gave the class of as external link icon, and we're going to grab the internal link icon, and they're both going to get a height of 30 pixels and a width of 30 pixels and a margin left of 20 pixels. If only I could type today, this would go much faster. And then we're going to give them all a background. We're not going to set the background yet, but we are going to set the size to be contain, because I need the entirety of the icon to be within the bounds of this box. And then we're going to say position, center, and then repeat. No repeat. And that's good for that at the moment. Let's just refresh and see what happens. Look at that. Got all that space over there. So real quick, we're going to close all this. And I have right here's all the icons. So we're just going to come over here and open our folder. Go to our assets, our images, and then drag this here into our images folder. Come back over here. And now this is going to be the fun part. We're going to grab the internal link icon home and give it a background image of, go back to our images, icons, and then we named it home.svg. And that should be it for that. So I'm going to come here and we're going to add this again and again, and then I'm simply going to change this to case studies, and then change this to blog. Refresh. Look at that there, right there. And then now we're going to add our external links or link icon, Facebook, and this is going to be, that's the same, except this is going to just say Facebook. See if that worked. It worked. So now we're going to copy paste this and make this say Twitter, and we're going to make this say Instagram. Refresh. Seems I have misspelled Twitter. Or did I name it something else? Twitter on blue. So I'm just going to name the image Twitter on blue. There we go. That is that. Now, now we need our overlay. Nav Toggle body overlay. Let's just give it a transition. No, I'll do that in a minute. Display block position fixed top 0. Right 0, bottom 0, left 0, z index of 1000, width of 100%, just for safety. Height of 100% as well. Background is going to be RGBA, and this is going to be 0000.7. Let's see what it looks like now. If it's there. There it is. Okay. That's cool. Right now, we're going to make the opacity 0, and we're going to translate. I spelled transform wrong. It's not transform. X 100% this time. And let's see. Refresh. Okay, and let's make this hide again. Where did I comment that out right here? Uncomment that line. This should disappear. Okay, now we need to get rid of that when it's, well, I think it's when it's above 600, when the width of the screen is above 600 pixels. So at media, screen, and minimum width, well, min width, 600 pixels. We're going to grab all of this stuff. We're going to grab the nav toggle open wrapper. We're going to grab the nav toggle close wrapper. I need to separate that with a comma. We're going to grab the toggled nav wrapper. And then we're also going to grab our overlay nav toggle body overlay, and we're going to give it a display of none, and then essentially this should disappear when we refresh it. And when it gets to 600 pixels, it should switch out. Rainy day now. Pop. Okay. That's good then. That's what I mean, what it's supposed to be. So yeah. I'll leave it at that. Okay. So let's see. What should we do? If we add, all right, you know, let's go ahead and add just a little bit of JS. In just a second, we're going to make the functionality. Okay. Functions.js. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go to, we're going to select our toggled nav wrapper, and we're going to say on the click event, we're going to run a function. And throw that in there. And then we're going to go ahead and do this. And we're going to say E stop propagation. And then that. And then that. And add a semicolon there. That should work for that. And then we're going to need to go, and on another line, we're going to grab a few things here. We're going to grab our nav toggle open wrapper. We're going to grab our nav toggle close wrapper. We're going to grab our header. Well, we're going to grab the nav toggle, where is it? Toggle body overlay inside of the header. I'm pretty sure that's all we're going to need for now. Let's give this a try. And we're going to say on click. We're going to run a function. Oops. this function is going to be, we're going to just go ahead and, let's make this simple. We're going to grab the HTML and we're just going to say toggle class nav open and end this. And then now we're going to need to come back to our Sass, and we're just going to make a few small adjustments here. So we're just going to grab our HTML with the class of nav open. Going to grab the body. We're going to make the body have an overflow of hidden, position of fixed, top 0, right 0, bottom 0, and left 0. And then we're also going to grab our nav toggle body overlay and say opacity 1, and transform translate x 0. We're going to give this a transition. We're going to transition the opacity at 0.2s, ease in, out. And we're going to do transform at 0s. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to grab our toggled nav wrapper and say transform translate x 0. Save that. Refresh this and let's hope this works. There's the toggle and it works. It's beautiful. Except I think I forgot a transition somewhere. Yeah, on here. Let's do transition opacity, or opacity, I should say. People argue about that all the time. And I forget what I say myself. In, out. And then we're going to do the, damn it, what I hit. Transform. It's going to be, we're going to do the transform at 0 seconds. Ease in, out, just cause, and then with a 0.2 second delay. So it should fade away before it slides away now. There it is. Fades away and then it's gone. Cool, now we just gotta style a couple more things. Excuse me. So, I don't think we're really gonna need to be changing this all that much for here. So let's just go ahead and set these in the base, because I'm pretty sure anywhere else we use them are just going to be pretty similar. So we're just going to go to base, style. What were we using? We were using an H5 and H6 and a small, I believe. Let's go H5. Font size 1.375M, 0.375M. Font weight of 400. color of primary. Sorry, the variable primary. And then our H6, I believe, we did have, it was a little different on the H6, right? H6 is these, yeah, it's going to be all caps there. So we're going to do font size 0.75 text transform uppercase, font weight 600, and we're going to give it the color of our secondary. This should be spelled right. Refresh it. See what happens. That's looking good. This is good. This is good. Right? I mean, it could be a little bolder, I suppose. Maybe. I don't know. I'll leave it there for a minute. Let's see what it looks like once we style the small. And it's going to be font size 0.75 as well. Font weight 300. Color secondary. And text transform uppercase as well in this. Uppercase. Cool. Yeah, I think that looks good. Except the font weight. I need to actually write weight for it to work. Weight. Refresh again. That looks much better. Yeah, I like the way that looks. And that all works. Cool. I think the only other thing we need to do right now is fix this. So we're going to come down here and we're going to write HR border style solid, color of secondary, the variable, and then we're going to give it an opacity of 0.1. It's going to be 10% opaque. Beautiful. I think that's pretty perfect. All of that works. There's no pages there, so those aren't going to work, but even if you click on the icon, it's going to take you to the page. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will see you in the next one.